Post Acularius, and because of an earlier fuck up, I left it on the intermission screen, so you haven't missed much other than like the initial setup, you know, put down your starting water, get some gathering huts, start up, you know, tools, but, whoops, that was my mistake. Errors were made. Lots of them. Yeah, no, I haven't really done much. If you've watched any of my other series, it's generally pretty similar in the startup, and it only really starts changing once you know, diversify your economy in the later stages, you know, shape for your Nordic and all your food. But thank you. Alex Large, same year at, oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I was setting everything up earlier, and we have our guest today, SatsukiShizuka. She is the host of the server. It will be a 24/7 real-time server, so as you saw with Cookie's server, or the Pig 2017 server, yeah, there'll be gaps, because I'll probably play this in my off time, make sure no one dies, or everyone dies.
The majority of the servers in testing right now use real-time, because when we do test, we tend to test them for extended periods of time. That and the persistence servers are too slow.
Yeah, Ronch is probably going to work those out. It's essentially his first testing with those rules. I need to find llamas. That is my goal. Wood.
Llamas are useful for continental, Mediterranean, as well as
They're basically
tropical.
my sheep. I like
Do
northern starts.
arid regions also raise llamas?
Nope. Arid does not have that kind of animal. They only get like your, you know, meat and leather, or your meat animals. They do not get wool.
So how do they get their textiles?
Flax. They use
of course.
flax. But arid's also very like agriculturally rich. They have like the rich. If you get an arid river, you're set. Wood. That's right.
I actually rolled a start in the beginning on an arid forest river with with copper and tin on the same map.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's actually pretty good. But arid forests are actually very thin, like very threadbare.
And very weak, yes.
Yeah, compared to like tropical, for example. Tropical forested, you're set. You don't need another tile for wood. That could probably supply your entire empire.
Funny thing is, you have to balance that with agriculture.
And the
So
fact that
the
you have
first 3 cities that I settled in the last server were all tropical forests.
oh,
But
that's
then
rough.
I still
But
ran short on wood because most of the space was used for agriculture.
yeah, but you don't have to grow all of them up, so to speak. You'd probably have just kept one, you know, just enough to feed the working population, but you didn't have to like really expand it. Also, to
That was
those
a time
watching,
when I grew
what do
every
you
city
think-
to be
how's the
like a
sound?
capital.
To those watching, how's the sound? Sorry, some word. I'm gonna probably be just hopping over onto my Discord, so yeah. Keep an eye on that. I was just actually sorry. I was asking what we're thinking of the sound, because I had to change a few settings to make sure you could be heard, and then I had to go in edit YMIR settings. Let's see here. Soon I'm gonna start exploring. Actually, wood. Well. Right, what I need to do is actually start controlling my economy. I don't think Flint's ever used for research, so only in restricted. Flint's get. Wood I use a lot of, but we do 4 pots for a maximum of 64. Today we learn math. This is something I do. A lot of people just, live with the sea of ground storages. I do not. I just can't. A waste of space, and will slowly over time make certain industries less efficient, like wood, because your ground storages are now covering up those spots. So maintain 64. Fine. We want to start building up a stockpile of carrots. We want to maintain at least 20 all times. What? Maybe not 20. Because that's really just not... That's a poor use of... I'll do 16 for now. Because it's a poor use of space management. Well, any interesting what's your start look like?
I have sent an image of the region as well as the surrounding area strategic map on the Discord.
Which Discord? The YMIR Discord?
Not the official one.
Oh, the pigs? Okay.
It's rather lonely out here.
Yeah, fortunately, we'll get more players in the future. Already got a small setup there. Already got your fort going, actually.
The way how
You
I
have copper.
organize it is to start big, and then sacrifice all the wood that is held by the warriors as weapons to build palisades.
That copper.
Yes, indeed it is.
I'm jealous.
The tile next to me, which has the other primitive settlement, has the tin.
Oh man, I'm already liking this a whole lot more than my tropical swamp start. That was rough. Just all the negative penalties. All those penalties.
I'm actually used to starting with the
Oh, just one, like swamp or tropical, I could probably have managed a lot easier, but the two of them is like a knockout punch.
provided that I have housing for all. I'm in the tropical river region right now, and my citizens are at health 40. They're fine.
Mm-hmm. Are you in a tropical swamp region? Didn't look that way.
I'm in a tropical river,
Oh, that's not bad.
although at the origin of the river.
At the head of the river. Got it. Not 20.
I have a plot of fish right in the middle of the river, but I can't reach it
Ha!
because it's just out of reach.
Sorry. That reminds me of my tropical swamp game. I had access to 2 of my 3 fish, and I was salty about the 3rd fish. Let's see. I've got wood set up. I've got... okay. Get. Flint's leather. There we go. That's another one that you want to have a good amount of storage for. I have a complete control over every aspect of my economy. I don't really care so much, but this is a real-time 24/7 server. I don't want to wake up to a sea of leather, or hammers, or both. I think it took me like 3 hours to clear off my old map. When I succeeded, and that's what I saw.
Actually, that was one of the things I particularly welcomed waking up to.
No, I just can't. Just stop. Everything must go liquidation sale. Javelins, right, you start with javelins. I like, hold. Why do I have axes? I don't remember starting with axes and anything else. I randomly find axes. Awesome.
You must have discovered it somewhere.
Yeah. I haven't done any exploring, so it must have been an event that I just really didn't pay attention to. It's so weird. Suddenly I wake up and I see axes. By the way, when I'm surprised, those who have watched this series before, note that axes are Copper Age good.
And to recap, this game basically organizes its technologies into 5 different epochs: Neolithic or Late Stone Age, Copper, Bronze, Iron, then Steel.
Pretty much. That's how it currently stands. And with promise of gunpowder, so what? Early Enlightenment period? Late Renaissance? Oh, Renaissance.
Renaissance sounds more like it.
Oh, yay, free wood. Excellent. Oh, damn. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. That on. Crap. What was I working on? Axes, right? Right. Okay, so I dealt with my axes. Hammers, that's the next thing. Complete control. Also means when I start moving these things into my fort, less things for the barbarians to take because they go exactly where I want them to go. They get nothing.
Having learned my lesson from the playing from a previous server, I now find
Everyone
that some
starts somewhere.
monoculture farms are more effective than multicultural farms. What are your thoughts, Acularius?
I think monoculture, a lot easier to manage. You can also, control production chains easier. You can set one farm to using a vendor. Definitely for fields that have production chains. So like any of your like foods that you eat but you want to use in the future. So in the Nordic regions, I have apples, so I would use a vendor to sell one farm's apples. So I wouldn't use merchants because they just take. But if you use a vendor, it sells only from that farm, and then I set another farm up for cider production. For potatoes, I use a merchant because potatoes, as far as I know, aren't used for anything else yet. I want vodka, but yeah, no, monoculture is just a lot easier to manage. So, for example, in my continental game, I know carrots aren't used anywhere else, so they're just going to be sold by merchants. I'm also going to hope when I go exploring that I find the other crops that I need, like cotton and apples and wheat. And I'll probably set a farm for wheat and apples for, consumption for my people, and then I'll set a farm for production chains, like cider and bread. My bread will be far later on. Let's see. Okay, so I've done everything but javelins. My last game, I didn't need more than I didn't need the number I had it at before, which was like 64 or 32 is a reasonable number. Defending the tribe, rock throwers. So, what else have you learned? There's a lot to learn in this game, and it's fantastic.
Indeed. This game has a very steep learning curve, and if you fail hard, your tribe will pretty much die out, but at the same time, you won't die out completely. So it will be a very long way back up, but not completely impossible to recover.
Yeah, pretty much. Reminds me of Dark Souls, only for city builders. Play that game in a while.
Yes, in fact, I keep on wondering if we're all masochists for playing this.
I played a lot of mods for, Ooh, free food. What did I get? Oh, just carrots. Dang it. I didn't want carrots. Yeah,
A random event has led me to have 15 cotton, despite that I'm living in the middle of a jungle.
I'll take it. You want all of it? Give it here.
If you can find me first.
True. Finally had a good start as a Byzantium, eh, Caleb? Is that in vanilla still? Or did you finally venture forth into MNT? Granted, I would hold off until Monday. That's, in theory, when they release the new version. Right, stone. Do we ever use a lot of stone at any given point? No. I think the biggest one some purchase of stone is like the Forum, and that's...
Aside from the forum, you will need stone in the construction of house 2s.
Yeah, but it's easy, like nothing consumes stone, so once you start producing it, like nothing takes away from it. Unlike wood and leather. If all your cores, 1449 has Byzantium. That's pretty good. Now you just need to restore the rest of the empire. For the glory of Rome. Yeah. Yeah, water in the ground. This is exactly what I needed. Fuck yeah. I remember when a new person was like, how do I get wells? And it's like, you just have to hope. It's really all you can do. So right now, my population is leveled off. I've put 7 inactive, so that's pretty solid.
In the beginning, you will definitely need a lot of inactives in order to activate and research some of the technologies required.
Pretty much. Build your first houses. Right, now where do I want to do this? Oh. This is all good land. It's not like the Nordic where I can just be like, this is shitty land, this is where I build my city. There's this flint here, so I guess I'll just start my city here. Where would I build fortification? Yeah, this is really nice, actually. I will start... So I'm gonna have to rely on wells. I'm gonna do my patented, well, my usual setup of how I put down houses. It's not exciting, but it works. Going for the entire empire? Well, if it's still vanilla, that's pretty easy, Caleb. Right. Oh, it's probably a bad idea on my part. Just build lots of houses. You can never go wrong with more houses.
It is said that later on in newer versions, Rongshi actually wants to create houses or how buildings are positioned with each other will increase efficiency. I wonder how that will work.
That's why I'm trying to like get in a good habit of like right now, making sure roads can be put down, because I know roads not implemented yet will be giving efficiency bonuses, so get in the habit of properly allowing roads to go through your industrial areas. Stone building. Quick too. There we go. That looks much nicer. The sound of technology. Progress. Water in the ground. Excellent. So I need one of you, like now. Also, I have discovered that I put my warehouses in terrible spots. Also, that backside pretty well defended. Not really. Also, I apologize in advance. I click a lot. I do not need both of these tool workers working now. I need that. It's for the. Also, one thing you'll learn is having workers having like industry working, you know, in the clear, basically above 60% efficiency is very beneficial in the long run. Keeps prices low. They will naturally rise over time when you get currency because dynamic pricing. But if you manage your economy pretty well, it shouldn't be nearly as bad. Good luck, Caleb. Wish the best for those trying to win the game, but I do recommend like getting into MNT. It's like the best way to play Paradox. I mean EU4. Hammers. I think I need to start like quote unquote an army. So I need to work on that. How are we doing? We got a lot of free workers, so I'm gonna put down some more woodcutter huts. Get some more wood income. So what's your plan in this game?
What plan is there to speak of? Rebuild my local region and try to spread out not as far this time. Last game, I had most of my cities spread at least 5 or 6 tiles apart. As a result, the waste that was created nearly crippled my economy. For days, my balance sheet was unable to balance itself properly, and add on to that I have to defend every city with both a militia and a standing army. It was simply unsustainable. If I have to give any piece of advice to any newcomer player in YMIR, it would be to find a place to set up your capital where all your other cities would be no more than 5 tiles away.
Yeah, that is ideal. You can have it further away if you really need to, but actually, Caleb, you'd be better off just hopping straight into MNT and learning those systems, because you'll be learning EU4 anyway, but at the same time, you'll get into bad habits that will not translate well. Yeah. Oh, did that quest. Now fuck this army. Okay, problem solved. Now to... Actually, I should just use that for sows. Basically, my goal before I sign off tonight is to make sure that I leave my capital in a state where it doesn't starve to death. So when I log in, like sometime tomorrow morning before I head off to work. Tapping into all that food, and there's just not enough there for that. Good, good, good. Or wood. Good, let's start the fortifications. cemetery? Yes. Okay. So... come on. What? Sometimes it's a fight. Set up wall. Excellent. Here. Yes.
Say, Acularius, does this sound like an oxymoron to you? This is the terrain. Arid, flat, swamps, and forest.
That? What?
Yes, an arid swamp.
Maybe it's very dry, like the Salt Lakes in Utah? I don't know. That's all I got.
Interesting.
Here? Yeah! Walls.
So I've been looking at a barbarian camp near me that is said terrain, the arid flat swamp, and I realized that like any other swamp, it's full of water, and all the land around it are all silt or fertility 6.
Nice.
So that's perhaps something that one should look for.
Maybe, but it's swamp, so you're gonna be hit by all the health malices.
Still not as bad as being in a jungle.
That is true. Must lock off Hill Fort. Will be. Salvation. Will do. Damn it. Yeah. I both hate and love this terrain. You. Oh, I'm out of wood. Dang it. There's only so little left. So close.
As I was mentioning earlier, sacrifice the weapons of your warriors.
I already did. Those bastards don't exist. There are no warriors, only wood. 10 points for the reference. What? Oh, I love hill forts. You can basically set up a defensive zone to cover the entire thing. You not have to worry about, like, anything else. Anyway. Alright. Defensive zone. Will be the front end. You, rock throwers. Defensive zone. You there. The walls are done. You'll actually have a safe place to fight from. Progress. Anyway, I make like 2 wood a tick, so I'll be able to finish it pretty quickly. You started in a wooded area, right? So you got your fortifications up pretty quickly too.
Without a doubt.
One thing you learn really quickly is how to, survive barbarian attacks. Otherwise, you just get more. They never end. I do hope he starts working on, like, more reward for dealing with barbarians. As it currently stands, you just, beat them and they're back in regular intervals.
Once they are dealt with once and for all, perhaps they'll start spawning
In rebel
individual
areas, that'd be good.
civilizations.
No,
Then again, that is the next
that would
mechanic.
require
different
actual
city.
like AI work, and I think he wants to stay away from that for now, in lieu of getting more player content out. But if they could, instead of spawning primitives, starting locations and spawn on rebel cities, that'd be better. That'd be a good way of exiting that loop. That way, the barbarian threat is still ever present, but at the same time, the game doesn't crash because there are no more barbarian cities to use.
Indeed. In fact, the lack of players and the abandoned settlements creates a lot of rebel cities.
Yeah, could be actually an opportune. Wow, this is a lot of clay. This is a swamp. can we like get like resources here, or is it just clay? Because if it's just clay, well, that is not. Oh, it's carrots. Not even worth a temporary settlement. Well, this is oceanic. I feel like it's. Unfortunately, there is nothing here but clay and a source of fish.
Here's a little checklist that I like to think of. When looking for a site for capital, you would want to have this place to be able to produce as much food as possible so that the least amount of imports is necessary. And for animals, you can have your own animal husbandry, so your ranches and so forth. But fish is irreplaceable. So I recommend for capitals that you find a place with as much fish as possible.
Mm-hmm. Arguably, you could get by with that by founding a coastal city settlement and using it primarily for food export. One fish source could just be for the city, that settlement, and the other fish sources could be exported to your capital. As a way around that.
Prudent indeed.
But that would also depend. Like, a lot of things are really dependent on your situation. Sometimes you just have to, make do with what you have. Not have the leather for clothing. Ah, copper source on this hill. It's not a whole lot. There's a tiny bit of lime. There's just enough for one limestone quarry. That is a paltry amount of limestone. Anything else? Copper's not bad. I could always set a settlement here and abandon it once the copper age passes. Yeah, that might actually be what I do. Okay, we'll keep tabs of this. Oh wow, I am close to the coast. Yeah, I want to write that down. What was that? One west? One west. What was that? Continental Rocky. Yeah. I write down everything. Okay. Basically, just use my starting position as compass. Everything is relative to that. So one west, there's a copper source. Actually, what's on this continental coast here? That would probably be, if I'm lucky, that'll be really good. I'll have a lot of some minerals, fish, pretty defensible, given it's a hill. Like, rivers are nice, but if you have a coast, that's pretty good too. Also, you probably don't need to, you don't need to rely on having a river. You can always get someone to do your trading for you if they're in your trade network and they set up their cargo to be used. You can use their cargo for a price. Oh, there is fish. Oh, okay. Not even iron? Come on now. Oh crap, I forgot to customize my avatar. Ha! Get some sleep and just play for a few more years. That, my friend, is one more turn syndrome. Is endemic of all good games that you've become interested in. Just one more chapter, a few more minutes, one more war. Suddenly it's 4 in the morning, and work is in 1 hour. Done that enough times. Mostly with books, not so much with games.
Play until sunrise. A common occurrence.
Yeah, definitely in Canada. Definitely in the winter. Actually, no, summer. That is so little coal, it's not even worth it. There's nothing else here. Damn. Sad. No, I don't want cow, give me a llama. Tiny amount of... This is very poor region, okay. The worst is like, let me finish this war, and then right after Anilla declare. I think I could almost do you one better. It's like, I won this battle in this war. Because, you know, after you do a pivotal battle, it's either mop up or not. And then there's another battle just around the corner. It's like, oh no, I don't need to do this. And then there's another battle. Another battle. Then followed by, yeah, as you said, another war. Which means more battles. I don't know, the first game that I, did an all-nighter on was Empire Earth 1. Way back. Nothing was more satisfying than dropping a nuke. Yeah. And all the burrito memes that came out of that.
Nukes? Why not just send more profits?
Nukes were more satisfying than Empire Earth.
A volcano is just as disruptive.
I don't think I had control of volcanoes in that game. I don't recall. It's been a long time.
Tornadoes, typhoons, thunder, volcano, all the work of a prophet.
I guess. Or just really good guesser. Wow, this place just has coal. Damn. Granted, it'd be pretty good to set up a farming settlement. I might keep that in mind. Only have so much state power though, so it needs more oomph to it. Oh, yes! What did I get? Apples! Yes! Store this. A capital. I like random events. You found apples. Yes, I did not have those. Glorious. These are exciting times. I wonder if... I'm not as familiar with... I'll know what crops I can grow in the future. But I need to... put down a ground storage. Set it for apples. And immediately make sure they don't eat all my apples. Because they will do that. Quick. But done. Excellent. Wow, they would have ate like 11 straight up. Dear God. Would have been a very poor showing, actually. Okay, apples saved. Actually, another reason why Ron should implement a waste system is so I can do something like this. Okay. Yes? No. Yes? Dang it. Yes. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I am just setting up walls. Oh, just one more section left. And then I'll be secure. How much time do we typically have? Like, what? An hour before the first barbarian raids start firing?
Around then, yes. Barbarian settlements will also set up as your settlement starts growing.
Yeah.
I recall that there was some kind of discussion regarding the strength of each biome, and someone mentioned that tropical starts can be quite powerful. Now that I have played significant time in the biome, I do not particularly feel that it's particularly powerful.
It's actually pretty powerful. You just, the first game that you play, you learn how to live. The second game you play, you essentially, basically what you're playing now is how do you optimize your economy. So, this round, you're essentially going to be learning how to best squeeze out, but at the same time, you're trying to learn, like, not always trying to overproduce everything, which is like a habit that we all get into with older games. You want to meet that demand, but meeting that demand creates more demand, particularly when you're doing food, because, you know, people just eat more and bang more and therefore have more kids, therefore needing more food, thereby, you know, reaching a natural equilibrium where there's just enough food for people to have enough energy to produce kids and to replace them. So, you know...
That is indeed the case, and fine-tuning is always done with the internal trade mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I can argue for the strength of a tropical area is that if you compare the crops that are available to the different biomes, and then if you consider about processed foods, you will find that tropical area contains the most amount of grains.
It's true.
And grains are particularly powerful with the advent of
corn
bread.
and rice to produce flour. For myself, I would specifically have to use wheat. I'm just gonna reply to one person here the other night playing HOI. Told myself that after I was done with Poland, you would be done after Poland. Yeah, USSR declared, so yeah. Ha! Yeah, you are not gonna be done that war quickly. After I was done with Poland, I would be done to do homework. Yeah, no. You should have just stopped before you declare war on Poland. You should have just, you know, stopped, got your shit done, or went to sleep, because once Germany goes on that war path, it is war, and a bit more warring on the side. Essentially, when you're the German Reich, everyone, their dog squeaky toy, is set to war. Done. Yeah, no, it is really powerful, all things considered. You have a lot more, you have a greater chance create a trade-based empire because you have a lot of goods that a lot of people do not have, and it's a lot of investment for a non-tropical region starter to go down there, because I don't think any of the goods from continental is transferable actually. So
what about cotton or flax or any of the grown fibers?
I don't think, no, like food-wise, none of the goods are transferable from continental to tropical, if I recall.
That's correct.
Like, I know Mediterranean, if I decide to set up there, I have at least wheat with me. And if I'm lucky, I can find the other stuff. Or Nordic, I could bring apples with me from my continental region. And I can find potatoes somewhere. Probably by luck. But if I wanted to do specifically tropical, I would need to find a crop first. Like rice, like beans. Actually, beans. I think that's an arid crop too. No, chickpeas. Maybe beans.
No, beans are indeed a tropical crop.
Is that solely tropical? I could have sworn. No, chickpeas.
That is
Chickpeas, I'm confusing it with chickpeas.
Is arid.
Yeah, I'm confusing it with chickpeas. That's my bad.
Other crops in the tropics include bananas and sugarcane.
Yep. And then there are gatherable resources like truffles and cocoa. Can you grow cocoa down there? Or is that just
Negative.
strictly...
I have seen those trees, but I have never seen what you can do with them.
Well, you know if you could get, like, you could grow it, it'd be an option. It's not like you could do it without the prerequisite resources. So if you can't see it in your, like, farming list, then it can't be grown, it can only be gathered.
And at the same time, when I try to gather cocoa, I don't see anything that comes up. Is it supposed to be gatherable?
I think it is. But, like, again, it could not be implemented yet. Ooh, apples.
Then
Oh,
perhaps that
alright.
is the case. I have a patch of cocoa trees with me right now, and apparently I can't do anything with it. It says it only produces mud and wood.
Hmm. Maybe it's not a thing yet. And I use yet strongly. Because I see a lot of dairy animals, and there's no dairy industry yet. I see cattle, I see goats. And I'm like...
And if you have dairy, and if you have sugar, and if you have cacao, that means good old chocolate.
Exactly, like, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot coming. Definitely since, I see the assets for guns, and, no one's gotten to guns yet. Not a tech available. Oceanic swamp. That sounds like very wet.
It would be interesting to see how guns would actually bring back the use of flint. Of course, the earliest guns
Wait,
recorded
you
in
stop
human
using
history
flint?
are
Because
matchlocks.
I pretty much keep using flint to produce basic stuff all the time. It's pretty cheap when you think about the workforce involved. Like, you just need one blacksmith producing hammers, and that can be easily supported by, 6 flint workers. And I can use my, more valuable iron, bronze, or copper, which require a far larger workforce. Definitely since I'm going to have to export and import when you think about all
Bronze is
that.
actually much more efficient than any of the other metals, since all you need to do is combine the cheap tin with the precious copper.
Yeah, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. You need 2 copper for every tin, essentially.
Actually, I've been looking into that. It's 3 to 1.
Okay, my bad. I've worked with like bronze once, and I remember it being definitely not a 1-to-1 ratio. I needed more of copper than I needed tin, which is great because tin is harder to come by. Also noting that I can't find tin around me yet. I've seen a patch of copper.
And I have a patch of tin right next to me, just further down the river.
You know what the downside is we really need more players to join the server so someone can find silver, because I'm not finding any of that either.
Is there any use for silver just yet? Gold,
Now,
yes.
you need it for that tech. That tech. And only that tech. Which is pretty vital if I recall. It's one of the economy techs that deals with currency. Actually, I think it deals with actually making gold useful. You like fish sticks? Oh, my favorite. Yes, I want fish. Oceanic. Probably not gonna have what I need. Wow, I am like a couple patches of continental surrounded by oceanic. I must be somewhere pretty north. Oceanic typically spawns near the coast, in the more temperate regions by continental and Nordic. So I must be north-ish. I would have a better idea if I looked at the map. I can see where the corner is. What is on this tile? Man, I've only written down one spot on my notes. That is pretty bad at this point. That's why I like Nordic regions. It's just mineral rich. There are just minerals everywhere. You just like fall down or like trip and there's a patch of minerals. What's that? You needed copper? Here's like 1/10 of the map full of copper.
In the arid river map that I sort of dumped in one of the generation tries, it was actually a forested area, forested river arid, along with all the surrounding regions basically forested continental. I should have saved that map.
Hindsight. Oh, I don't need more families. That's just more mouths to feed. I don't like that event. Not sustainable. Also, like, I have a thing where basically I just don't really like those events. It's like, no, I can't just...
There is one way to sustain that population, actually.
Yeah,
Recruit all the able males into your army.
Oh, that sounds like a sustainable thing. That sounds like all sorts of terrible, actually. I would rather get those people working Working people pay me taxes. Army just eats.
Working people also eats the food inside your city, and therefore negative growth will happen.
Here's something. So does the army.
On the other hand, any
The
city has a particular figure that shows how much a region can support in terms of military men.
Mhm.
Those people will not require food to sustain themselves.
But do you know what they will require? People. And those people need food.
And if
Basically
you have an
piglets.
excess of able bodies, why not?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, but at the same time, I would rather them working, thereby having... Oh, iron. That's what I need. That's not the biggest deposit I've ever seen, but... I could, what, how many mines on this? That's a mine. A one? Ooh. Oh man, I'd be pushing it at 3. This is not a good mine. Just awkwardly shaped. Maybe I could like pull off. That's not good. It's not bad.
There is nothing more disappointing than a mine or a surface crop of ore, but then is too steep or not flat enough
No, this is
to
actually
place a deep mine.
this isn't actually that bad. The way it's placed, you can easily like have like 1 mine on a lower level, and then like maybe 2 on the upper levels. That's not too bad actually, but I'm probably just spoiled by Nordic settings, where I can just have really big mines. Spoiled. I have 1. Poland is ally. I have common blob. I'm high control. Ha! Ah, the Commonwealth. I'm not gonna make any comments lest I offend like everyone. Oh, iron and a tiny bit of coal. That's not so bad. I'm warming up to this region over time. A lot of flat area. So weird having fertility everywhere that's, 3. I'm so used to 2.
If you live in the tropical area, you will be used to 2.
Oh, so it's like Nordic, only, without the health bonus. But, at least you have your crop diversity, so there's that.
At the
So
same
that-
time, we do not have any diversity in terms of textile producing crops.
That's
we do
fine,
not
you
have
have
any
sugar.
of that.
Yeah,
Sugarcane is like the barley of arid region. It's only good for producing, at least at the moment, alcohol.
Oh, sugar doesn't do, like, you can't consume sugar?
No, sugar cannot be directly consumed.
That is so weird.
Ever tried like chewing on a bamboo pole? That's sugarcane.
Well, I assumed, like, the whole process. Well, maybe maybe there's a refined stage. I guess that's not done yet. Where you actually have, refined sugar. Now that's a labor-intensive process. But yeah, back to 1 north, 1 east. Well, at least if I leave...
And suddenly I am graced with a neighbor.
Oh shit,
Who
we
is
actually...
Barwick Proldhammer?
What? Who? What? Joined.
Somebody settled in the arid region close to me.
What's his name?
Some leader
Oh,
using a generic name by the name of Barwick Proldhammer.
I have another person on this server too. Gurmahog Donshun Tulpig. I don't know who these people are. But that guy's really close. He's just 2 tiles away. He is not doing anything though. Gold. Let's take a look at his settlement. No, not Hearts of Iron 4. It's Hearts of Iron 2. Hearts of Iron 3 is not bad. Maybe the new DLC will help Hearts of Iron 4, but The only DLC that I've been looking forward to might be for Stellaris. That looks like a decent update. Okay. Put down the water thing. Got apples. Wow, this is a lot of flat land. Not a whole lot of wood, though. I feel sorry for him. It is lacking in wood. I wonder if that's more than one. Okay, cows. Actually, a good source. I too understand. Person. Right, iron. I need to write that down. Continental rocky forest. Rocky forest. That had iron, 3 mines, and like one tiny coal, 1 coal, at least 1 mine, 2 on a good day. Yeah. Yeah. Oceanic rocky forest. Let's take a look at that. I actually kind of enjoy the exploration. I do kind of wish that I knew the resources that were on a tile, or maybe, you know, it'd be another thing. You know how you can hunt on a tile and all that? Like, if I could survey, I'd be pretty good with that. Just get results. That way I don't have to, like, keep loading in. Like, it'll tell me what's on there. Like, there's iron there, but if I actually want to know how much iron there is, I actually have to look at it. I could live with that. Wow, that is a pitiful strip of iron. That is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits of iron. Ah, yes. That's bad. Oh, fish sticks. I'm going back to my capital. There is just that little piece of iron. 9 bits of limestone. Man, I'm pining for my good old days in the Nordic region. Let's do it. All that mineral wealth. Which, you know, isn't very useful in the beginning bit of the game, but since I usually have a huge labor force due to the lack of diversity in my economy, I can either A, rate everyone, or really take advantage of the mineral wealth of the north. Actually, I was half considering just being like the Vikings in your old server, I'll be honest. Just for fun.
An additional advantage of the Nordic region would be the existence of peat, would it not?
Yeah, but that is A, rare, and B, only found in swamps. But you're essentially using a soil miner, and you find charcoal. You're literally just pulling charcoal out of the ground.
Do they exist in large patches, though?
Oh my god, yes. No clay in swamps? Bad. Yeah. I have finished my fort. It is pretty. Also, I'm going to be stopping this recording soon, and thereby this stream. An FYI to those watching. Because I have work. Canadians like their hockey. Is that just one fish source? Yeah, just one fish source. I've had a game where I had like several fish sources on one spot. So I was just like putting down more fishing huts. Hello. pays my wage, man. How else am I gonna afford tuition? Also does a lot of other events. I like the concerts the best, particularly when it's heavy metal. Or metal in general. Not a fan of, like, country concerts, but I tolerate them. Cirque du Soleil is also going to be doing a thing. That's like in May. That would be interesting. Okay. Have enough of this clothing? No, I don't. Ah, right. The Nordic start I had on your server, I actually had 2 sources of hunting, so I was doing far better off with the leather compared to this game. I should actually maintain a stock of fish.
One never has enough of leather and leather clothes.
Leather clothes aren't too bad. You're not supposed to produce like 5 million of them. Basically, once I start getting my leather industry started, like, one is for domestic use and the other, I just had 2 leather tanneries, and basically I just use vendors, and 25% of it is just stored for military use, and I stored a lot of it, so.
I usually like to store 64 to 92 of them.
Metal band. Ooh, that's a good question. Balance figures. What food? Corn and hose. That's actually pretty disappointing because I can't grow corn here. You need corn?
Corn is yet another one of those tropical crops, and yes, I could use some.
I will not eat it all. I will store it. You're welcome. Five, 4, 3 here. That's a good air. Pretty average on the military side, but at least average. Like overall, 5, 4, 3 is like what? An average of 4 across the board? Yeah, an average of 4. So that's well above average. I'm gonna put this over to the side. But we do have hose. So good. 16, only in restricted. Empty. But really what I wanted to make a storage for was goddamn fish. Dear Lord. I know the last concert I saw was A Perfect Circle back in December. I don't call them my favorite, but they're enjoyable to listen to. Oh, what would be my favorite metal band? I always go back to Disturbed. All things told. I like a lot of them. Like, grew up with a lot of that music. Forums! And I don't have stone. That does mean I have stone collectors, and I have a lot of people who need jobs. Loot. Fish! Yes! Ah. Man, I am getting all the luck, so I will soon die. How paradox odds work. How this game will work. I'm just expecting that barbarian invasion now.
And barbarians just destroyed my army.
I actually feel bad. I was kidding. APC. Oh!
They had 17 warriors, I had 12.
The show was great, by the way. I saw that at the Air Canada Center. Girlfriend was sick, and then afterwards I was sick. Like, that was a great show, but the outcomes were terrible. The weather was bad that day. Now I just need wheat, and I will have all the crops for a continental. Except for, like, cotton. Like, yeah. I haven't been to a whole lot of concerts. I've been to Apocalyptica way back in, like, 2014. It was more grunge, but I saw Die Mannequin at the Sound Academy. I think it was the Sound Academy. Yeah, it was the Sound Academy. And Apocalyptica was at the Phoenix. They had Adam Gontier, the singer for 3 Days Grace, do a cover for, like, be their singer. I haven't seen Disturbed yet live, but that was basically my high school. 10 barbarian raiders have left the region of Kyria and are coming our way. I hope 20 stone throwers can, you know, hold them off. Here's hoping. Otherwise, we are going to have a very sad start to our game. Right, I was working on a stone cutter camp. Stone is something
Interesting you mentioned Curia because that is the same camp.
Yep, they all come from the same place in the beginning until you know, take one down. But it's always that same place.
Interesting. That means I can follow them in order to find you.
I guess you could, yes. But you're also just as likely to die. Alright, I have this random family that joined. I should probably deposit that somewhere. Come on. Oh, do not walk through the, you know, the Porca's version of the Neanderthals. I wish I didn't have to babysit you with that one. Your instinct to live is rather small. But at least I got my fort up. Oh. That's good. Goodbye, random families. I don't need you. Oh, sheep. I need to... No, I can't use sheep. Damn it! Is that Nordic? Yeah, that's Nordic. Man, I am really close to Nordic. Well, goodbye. Now that's a pretty good... No, I should wait for the barbarian raid. Taking a really long time. Are they coming over water? I kind of want to see which way they're coming from.
If it's coming from the Curia that is next to me, you should be receiving them from the southeast.
Hmm. Okay, where am I in respect to this map? There's the corner. Dear Lord, I am on the eastern side of this map. And what I'm referring to is when you go to the world map, you'll see a little white corner in the top left. That is the northwestern part. That's probably an artifact from the graphics used. And you can see like a rough square outline. So you can see it here. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but for me, I see the square box here. So we're in the north, I would say east. Pretty center. But if they're in the center, it'd be about here. So we're on the eastern side of the center and more in the northern bit.
Whereas I would be on the southeastern continent.
Probably. So basically after this barbarian raid, I'm going to wrap up and call it a night. Actually, no, I won't be able to call it a night, but I should be able to do a few other things because, you know, I typically do laundry at the same time. on the weekend. I know, exciting stuff that you guys don't need to care or hear. That's all happens. Wow, that left 2 sows. Battle loot. They took a wolf. Oh no. Guess I'll spam this. Man, when are they gonna get here? Huh. I was gonna wait and see how well my defenses hold, but When did I vacuum? Oh, I was talking about laundry, but when I vacuumed this morning. Like vacuuming before I do laundry because I have a dog and her hair is everywhere. So when I'm sorting that stuff, again, very exciting stuff that I'm talking about, but I'm trying to do it when there's very low chance of getting dog hair on it. Well, I'm just gonna... Thank you. Oh, it's a little bit of black. They're double lining my walls now. Anytime now, barbarians. Anytime. It's gonna happen regardless whether I record it or not, but I just wanna see if we live. My loyalty's stable. It'll be better when I get an elder camp, which will push down my conflict, which will allow my loyalty to rise. So when the one new player was mentioning that he had like a lot of elder councils, yes, they do, you know, bring up loyalty, but indirectly. I know I mentioned that because high conflict in general lowers your loyalty. Basically a 1-to-1 ratio, if I remember correctly. Yeah, authority, conflict, 27, minus, so I currently have 27 conflict, it takes away 27 loyalty, so the lower you keep your conflict, the higher you can keep your loyalty. So, indirectly, elder councils, you know, bring up loyalty by keeping conflict low. Oh yeah, you were just gonna ask me about chores for the rest of the stream. Yeah, no, I just remembered that I need to... Well, it's not so much I'm like doing clothes, I'm doing sheets, and I kind of need those to sleep, so... it's exciting. Yeah, I guess we can talk about dishes too, you know, like fill up the sink with water and get them soap. Clean, no. What am I gonna do moving forward in this game, though? I'm not getting other text to fire. I do have the ability to, you know, start working on clothing, but I need leather. So maybe, because I have such a huge workforce right now, doing jack all, I can muster up a few warriors. Actually, I should muster up a few warriors anyhow. Mostly as like a front line. So if they do break through the gate, or what fucking fuckers. What an aptly named army. 2 of them is no point. I wash my dishes. Exciting times. All manual over here. Oh, the mud baskets. This is... Well, it would have been more exciting if I had the wood to actually research it. Also, where the fuck are barbarians? Did they get lost? And they got lost. Yeah. I was being a little sarcastic there. Man. Okay, I'm just gonna be right back. I'm just mute my microphone. I'm just gonna go off and like do something, and I'm gonna be right back. And hopefully by then, you know, we'll see combat. Actually, I should really destroy those outside ground storages over here, so they're forced to, you know, come at me. So now they're forced to come at me. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna mute. I am still waiting on that barbarian invasion. Oh, DJ? Dear God. They told me they were attacking like 5 minutes ago. Military? Oh, that's when they came at me. Oh, what was that idea? What are you? Oh no, oh right. This is mine. Yeah, we can start that now. Oh, large houses with stone building. Excellent. Hmm. Oh right, I should probably save that leather, all things considered. I am still waiting on barbarian attack. Man, they must be really far away from me. Anytime now. I wonder if barbarians also avoid going over water, so they're like going like the long way around, so this continent could like snake around a bay or something. I wonder if that's what they're doing. Ah. Or tech. Growing 6. Actually, this is a really good tech to have. Man, I am just waiting. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, wow. Well, so I'm just gonna put a cut here then. Why is my population dropping like a rock? Oh, is it because of the core? No, we're not using the core. Fishes, right? Oh, it's because I'm researching with farmers. That's right. Cutting down on their productivity. I don't have paid researchers yet. Right. That makes sense now. That's fine. That's what inactives are for, to soak up the losses of science. Am I meeting the water demand? And 3. Ooh, I am not. Oh. Oh, right, because that's a farmer too. Ah! Oops. Wow, so they're thirsty and hungry. That sounds like a perfect combination. Oh, good. My farmers are done, so they will no longer starve. That being said, as always, thank you for watching. I will see you all next time. There'll probably be a gap in progress. You will not be seeing the combat unless I see it happen as I'm exiting now. But as always, this is your host, Acularius, signing off for the evening. Keep healthy and have a blast.
And good night.